Let's start with Tristan.
Long time no see. So how are we going to make change? As a candidate, honestly, a lot of the changes that I think all of us are going for are more of a change for tomorrow. But, you know, because it's kind of something that we have to fight for now to be able to access in the future. So it's planning ahead. Directly, you may not see many of the effects, but in the long term, people may. And not to avoid the question, I'm sorry. As student delegate, I will work, I will lobby, I will tell you what's up and tell you how you can get involved. Because, you know, I'm only one person. San Francisco Unified is how many people? More than one person, I'll tell you that. So yeah, I will try to let you in, and as a combined voice, we can make change in our schools, so it's not just me. Thank you.
So the changes that I would work to be making, like I said before, I mostly just want students to be informed because that's one of the main ways that students can really represent themselves. If we aren't informed, then we can't be proactive in changing schools. So I would try to get students to be more aware of organizations and more aware of what I'm doing and what the school board's doing. I would want it to be very easy for students to understand all the legal jargon that they might have a hard time with. I would also want students to be more aware of what their rights are, because we get a student handbook in the end of the year, but no one really reads it because it's boring and it's kind of hard to understand. So I would try to make things like that easier for students to understand and maybe put it on the internet so that it would be more convenient for students to look at. Also, I'd want, like I said before, an internet forum for students to discuss different issues so that everyone can be connected and that we can be a better SFUSD community and not just be more focused on our own schools.
Okay, so as student delegate, I would be representing all of you. And that's the thing, student delegate isn't about me, it's about us. It's about all of us working together. So for one, like Tristan was saying earlier, there's a gap in communication between the student delegate and the student body. That would be handled through online communication. Set up a student delegate website so that students can just hop on at any time and just say what they want. Now, I want you to imagine committees being set up at every school so that all students' concerns are met. Imagine these committees coordinating what everybody says and working with the student delegate, because it's all about the students' ideas reaching the delegate. That's how I would make change. Thank you.
And how will I make it better? So I think I would have enough time to go around schools that have issues. As Jackson said, there's online services where you guys could tell us things, and we'll be happy enough to do all that because we're here to represent you guys. I'm not here just to be sitting with the school board and just talking to them. I'm here to voice your concerns to help our schools. Thank you.
Good job, guys. So we have another question that's coming from Sonia Burnick. Where's Sonia? Woo, Sonia! Sonia, come up here. I'll just ask your question for her. So she wanted to know what was the most important thing about you guys, what was kind of your personal goal in running for this, why you decided to run, and what you're going to make as your kind of vanguard of your campaign.
So the most important thing about my campaign is to do what you guys tell me to do and make sure it happens well and it's good for our schools. And another thing is, we need more programs, we need more subjects, we need to make that happen.
Okay, so the main thing that I want to do as student delegate is really, Okay, the district is made up of 20,000 students. And without those 20,000 students, there is no San Francisco Unified School District. So it's crucial that these students' voices get heard. The people at the Board of Education need to know what's on our minds, and that's what's most important. What I'm most passionate about in this is helping relay what your concerns are and what you guys care about most in schools, because that is the most important thing, not only about Student Delegate, but about San Francisco Unified School District. So that's my main thrust in being Student Delegate, is really just trying to take care of you guys and let people know what your concerns are. Thank you.
My main goal would be to just keep students informed, because if we aren't aware of what our rights are and if we aren't aware of what each other's problems are and what opportunities there are for us to represent ourselves, then we virtually have no power. For example, at least at this school, in our student handbook, it says that you can drop a class up to 6 weeks after the semester starts, but most people think it's only 2 weeks. So people really aren't aware of what things they can and cannot do, and if we're more aware of it, it can improve both it can empower us as students, and it can also make student-teacher relationships better, since we would understand what we're allowed to do and what we aren't allowed to do. So we wouldn't feel that the teachers or staff are out to get us, that we know what we really can and cannot do. And I also want students to be aware of, like I said before, what opportunities like the SAC, which is a great resource, and so that we can, really just represent ourselves in that, so that students overall can be more proactive. Thank you.
So if you've ever talked to me, you know that I'm a pretty big nerd, and that kind of ties into really what I'm fighting for the San Francisco School District. I really think that we need to increase and advance our technology. Now, that may seem really one-minded, but when you think about it, if we increase and advance our technology, not only will we become more internet savvy, allowing for easier communication through online forums and blogs, perhaps, but it will also open up job opportunities for students. Increasingly in the world, jobs require, more and more dependence on, let's say, being able to use Excel, being familiar with Word and PowerPoint. So even if you're just doing clerical work, you need to be able to input numbers, and having these resources accessible for students will not only kind of be like, whoa, future tech, but it's also going to be like, this will help me with my life. So that is what I'm fighting for as your student delegate.